What if they take my colon and then the very next month they find a cure for ulcerative colitis? Deciding to have surgery for ulcerative colitis is probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to face. For me, it wasn't a quick or easy decision. In fact, I fought on with UC for just over 13 years, trying every medication possible, and really, if I'm honest, trying to avoid the surgery at all costs. In that 13 years, I went through every medication available to me, and eventually they all stopped working. I was flaring more and more frequently, and my whole world was just becoming consumed with living with UC. All my days started to pretty much look the same. I would wake up, I would go to work, I would come home exhausted and tired, I would go to bed early, then I would get up and go and do the same thing again. Come home, go to bed, get up, go to work. And when the weekend came, I just took the opportunity to recharge my batteries and to rest and recover. And it got to the point, really, if I'm being honest, I was existing. I was going through the motions of living, but I wouldn't say by any measurement that I was living a full and meaningful life. But still, I kept resisting. I kept holding off from the surgery. My doctor was constantly telling me that I should think about surgery, and I kept pushing her back. I couldn't face the thought of having to live with a stoma. That's the reality. Vanity, fear, anxiousness about what it would mean, probably all of the above. I remember having this really odd thought, and looking back on it now, it really does seem a bit strange that having the surgery is a one-way ticket. Once your colon's been removed, that's it, it's gone. And I remember thinking, what if I have it? What if they take my colon and then the very next month they find a cure for ulcerative colitis? And then what if they find that cure just as I've had the surgery? Looking back now, it's a really odd thought to have, because I've lived with a J-pouch for 15 and a half years, I lived with a stoma for a year, so I'm 16 and a half years post my UC, and still no announcement of a cure of UC has come forward. So it's a very, very odd thought. But I remember at the time thinking this one-way ticket, and how would I feel? How would I be able to live the rest of my life knowing that this cure had just come out? Crazy, but that's what I was thinking. So given that I had such a strong mindset to resist the surgery, what happened to make me change my mind? Well, it was at my last colonoscopy when everything changed. My gastroenterologist leaned over to me during the procedure of the colonoscopy and said to me, "Your colon is just completely diseased. This is looking really bad. And if we don't take action, I'm probably going to have you back here in 3 to 6 months to tell you you've got bowel cancer." That message landed incredibly hard with me. She came to see me in the recovery room and we had a conversation. The weird thing is, such bad news, such frightening news at the time was almost a blessing because it made the decision for me. The fear of the surgery was still there, my anxiety about living with a stoma was still there. All of the things that I'd kind of put at the forefront of trying to avoid surgery, they were all still there, but they were all eclipsed by the news I'd just been told. It really was that simple. The title of this video is "Why Did I Choose Surgery to Treat My Ulcerative Colitis?" And if I'm honest, the answer is incredibly simple. I wanted to live. That simple. I was lying on a bed being told if I didn't take action, the likelihood of me developing something far more serious than UC, i.e. bowel cancer, was very, very likely. And that was the decision made for me. Making this video now and looking back at the time, I probably didn't realise just how much of my life I'd put on hold to live with UC. When you're in it, you sometimes don't see it as clearly as you do when you're looking back. I was so focused on avoiding the surgery that I wasn't really taking account of all the areas of my life that UC had put a stop to, and that I just got into this habit of existing and not really living. Now, a healthier and happier me can sit here all these years later and look back and know that making that decision to have the surgery was actually probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Yes, it was scary. There was a lot of unknowns and I had to go through an awful lot. I had to learn an awful lot and I had to adapt and change. But actually, the person I've become on the other side of that is far happier, far healthier, and doesn't really think about all the things and the anxieties and the worries that stopped me from having surgery in the first place. One of the things I was worried about was body image and my body confidence, and would anyone ever want somebody like me? Well, actually, since I've had the surgery, I met a girl, we went out, we got engaged, and she's been my wife for the last 13 years, and we've had 3 children together. So absolutely those concerns didn't happen, they didn't come to fruition. In fact, I've done a whole video on body confidence and those kind of concerns, so if that's of interest, then take a look at that. The surgery was a turning point, and it really did allow me to start living my life again. I've made a few of these videos where I sum up the end of the video and I kind of say, if you're in this situation, please leave your comments, and I mean them in every video. But I really do send my heartfelt thoughts to you. If you're someone in this position, having to make a decision to have surgery, to live with a stoma, to have that one-way ticket to have your colon removed because of UC, or maybe it's because of Crohn's or some other disease. I've been where you are and I know what you're going through. You're not alone. Everyone's journey is different and everyone has slightly different outcomes at the end. For me, looking back all these years later, I'm in a position to say it's actually one of the best things I've ever done. Now, if you are somebody facing that decision, it might be that if you look back in 15 years, maybe it turns out to be one of the best things that you've ever done. If you've connected with the story that I've just shared, please consider hitting the subscribe button to see more videos along similar themes. I put various links to support groups in the description, so if you're in need of some additional support, then have a look and see if there's some help available there. And you can, of course, leave a comment and share your story on this video. We'd love to hear from you. Many of us have been where you are. Hopefully you found some value in me sharing my short story with you. If you have, please hit the like button. As I say, please subscribe to the channel. I make videos every week and I'd love for you to join us. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.